What's up? What's up, people?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
up?
What's good, brother? How you doing today?
I'm good, my man. You see the change?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you trimmed it on down a little bit.
Yeah, man. I had to, as we evolve, I had to try and do something different. So,
I feel you,
uh,
for sure. I mean,
more
you
fit.
look good either way, brother. You look good. So, either
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
way.
So I just feel it makes me look youthful, youther or younger, youther. Did you hear me? Youther,
You there. You there.
youther, man.
You
I'm a
there.
youther.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm gonna skip over, I'm gonna pass by it, but okay. Since you brought it back up, man. Yes, you look youther.
I'm not trying to look youther, but
Whatever that is.
right, right,
Man,
right.
Oh
he's a
man.
user and he's trying to pull like some of those young girls and everything. That's what that's all about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Shout it swing my way.
No, 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 man.
All right, fool. All right, go, go. Up, up.
When I first got divorced, so I know we gotta have a talk. We haven't had to talk about relationships sometime, but which
Yeah.
I got a show for us, man. I got a show for us.
Okay.
Maybe we start next week. I'm hoping Al will be. I know he won't be with us this week, but maybe we can continue some of this next
Yeah.
week because we got a lot to cover here today. But after that, I want to talk about relationships, and we take 3 to 4 weeks to build that, and then we bring in our person.
Yeah.
You know how we do the discussion table. I think we bring in our persons, and
Right.
we have that discussion with 6 of us. That's gonna be powerful.
I think that'll be extra dope.
Woo, boy,
Yeah.
that's gonna be good. Juicy, juicy.
Juicy, I'm crazy.
I'm feeling left out now because I ain't got one of those as of yet. So maybe I got to find one in 3 weeks or something like that along those lines.
Come on, Mark. You gotta catch up, bro. You gotta catch up,
Right.
I ain't
Speed
got
up the
one of
clock,
those yet.
Mark.
bro.
Huh?
You might have to put a
Go
song
reel
together,
one in. Go reel one in.
Go real one in.
bro. You might have to put together a song for that.
Hey, man, listen.
Named Juicy.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay. You know what? Give me some ideas. Okay, let me write that down.
Yeah, write that down. Part of the
Write a
problem is
song called Juicy.
well, there was a song. I know a couple of Juicies because there was Juicy Fruit and there was a couple of other songs and everything. But part of what I've been
Ooh,
running into, and I know we'll get into y'all's serious conversation, is that they are either too far away because I know somebody was of interest, but they were all the way in Indiana and I'm in North Carolina and everything, or they were a little bit. There's the age difference because there have been a couple that were a little bit younger or a little bit older. So yeah, there's all kinds of issues that have happened. And of course, there's the ones that have, not just ready-made families, but ready-made mega families. Because I know somebody that I was talking to
yeah,
that had like the not just the kids, but the grandkids. And I think they had like multiple grandkids. It might have been close to 11. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, that's a
wow.
lot to bring on to a relationship and everything. So like I
Right.
said, I've been, I guess, barking up the wrong tree, as they like to say.
I mean, you'll find that one. Just be yourself.
Oh yeah,
Continue to travel and expand on who you are, and master yourself. And the person will come, man.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't rush it. When it happens, it'll be perfect timing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
perfectly, exactly. I believe that too. And like I said, there might be some of those people that are in the, I won't say the circle of friends, and it's just a matter of them recognizing our friendship is more than a friendship, and all along those lines. Or it might be a brand new person. So like y'all said, it could be something that's in the circle of acquaintances, or it could be a brand new person that is still yet to be discovered, but only time
Right.
and destiny will let folks know.
One time. Right. There we go. There we go.
Circle of friends,
Just
which is
play your
in
part.
circle of friends, which is in the circle of life.
Yep.
There we go.
I'm
Yeah.
going
Yeah, I
like
know.
a la Lion King.
Yeah, right, right, right. Yeah, and those are the best relationships anyway. When they start from a friendship, you already have the friendship basis. So,
Yeah.
that's the foundation of your relationship, and you can always go back to that.
Right.
So,
Right.
I say, fall in love with a friend. I did.
Right.
I'm happier than I've ever been.
You say you can do that, and I'm gonna let y'all go back to y'all discussion and
Uh,
everything. But you say you can do that, but the problem is that I hear some of the women say is this notion that if they get you out of the friendship zone, that they have a hard time going back into the friendship zone if the relationship goes south. So I know a lot of women are very cautious about taking you out of the friendship zone because they're afraid that they will lose what they already have as a friend.
Yeah.
well, I mean, and that is determined by if you both remain friends and maintain what you already built. Like it has to be a conscious choice.
Right.
You know, um, you have to have those conversations that you would have as friends, as people who are in a relationship. It has to stay the same.
Yeah.
That friendship has to be maintained at all costs. Uh, and
Been
with
there, done
that,
that.
uh, what's I
I
going to
said,
say?
been there, done that one, brother.
Yeah, yeah. You have to make sure that you maintain the friendship the entire
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, very much true. And I know sometimes it's also having some common interest and everything. But then I've also had some friends that have been like, they don't want the common interest. I know I was teasing before you came on the show because I did watch that big game, and I'm thinking that I could be wrong, but I just can't see if he wasn't with his queen right now. Coach getting with a Ravens fan or even a Bengals fan because that would probably be problematic for the
His face said it all.
yeah, and then it's like that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
Oh,
That's blasphemy. I mean, that's like Antichrist. Not only is that anti-chief, that's Antichrist.
Well, but coach, I tried that for a minute because I did have a long-term relationship, and as I
oh,
told you before, I am a diehard, and I know it's a bad thing to say because they have a habit of being regular teams that when they get to the Super Bowl they lose. But I'm not a fair weather fan, so I root for my Panthers because they're a North Carolina team. But even before the Panthers, I was always a diehard Vikings fan, and I'd be lying if I told y'all that there wasn't a moment that I dated a Packer. And if anybody knows what that's like, it was definitely interesting. Hey, it gets worse, Gene, because my brother is a diehard Bears fan. So you can only imagine what family reunions and family
God.
turkey days were like when I was dating that particular person, because she was a Green Bay Packers person that was of another culture because she was a white woman
Right.
and everything along those lines. And then I'm the diehard Vikings fan, and my brother's a Bears fan. There's some other teams involved as well. Like I know that my aunt is into the Cowboys and everything. But yeah, I had a funny feeling that might be problematic because, like I said, that's totally opposite if you are a Vikings fan having somebody in your life that is a Packers fan or a Bears or a Lions or one of those other teams in that division. So yeah,
Gene,
I'm thinking Coach G is not getting with a Raven.
do you see the necessity of why we need to have that show?
Yeah,
If not for anybody else, for Mark, we need to have that show.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, but I'm glad we had some
Yeah.
topic to begin because I know
Yeah. Oh,
this
goodness.
topic is can be difficult, and we both have experienced some hardships here.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. This was just burning in my soul over the last week or so, and it just needs to be talked about. I was in the barbershop, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But anyway, this is Unbreakable Souls. We kind of had our funny part.
Yeah.
We want to really feed you today in a hard but powerful topic. I mean,
Right.
it's hard because we've had some issues here lately in our lives personally, but that's what we do here. We speak from the heart. So today's topic is fatherhood. Last week, just the recap of that was good, and we had three young, attractive, intelligent, powerful black men on the screen presenting, and Mark jumps in too to add a fourth to that, and that was an amazing discussion. We could have easily pivoted and went to part two of that, but
Right.
what really burned in my heart, which really sparked from brotherhood, was fatherhood. So today's topic, and we may bridge this in week two, is fatherhood. So we're going to really take some time and take our time and really break this down today and have some in-depth and personal discussions regarding fatherhood today. Any initial thoughts out the gate, Gene, before we start? Or
I mean, I know for me, fatherhood has always been a very important thing. I know that I didn't have the best relationships with my fathers, biological and stepfather. Um, so, me having a good relationship, setting a good standard, and just being like the foundation for my kids was majorly important for me because I just remember the things that I did because I felt unwanted, unloved,
Right.
things of that nature. And I put myself in a lot of jacked up positions because I was looking for love, in all the wrong places.
I was waiting on you to say it.
I had to do it. I heard it too.
There's a lot of people do that and everything, James. But in those same lines and everything, fatherhood actually means a lot to me and everything. Because while I don't have any kids of my own, as I've told y'all before, I do have my two nephews and all along those lines. And I haven't put it out there to a lot of people, but I'll share it with y'all. But I know that tomorrow I'll actually be hopefully seeing my dad because he's got some major surgery coming his way because he's definitely been dealing with some heart stuff and all along those lines. So they've actually got to do some kind of moving some blockage and other things. So that'll actually be on Tuesday and everything. So what his lady love, and speaking of lady love, did is got together a lot of his friends and they will get together with him to give him some peace of mind and some encouragement before he goes into that surgery, which will be taking place on Tuesday and all along those lines. But definitely it's something that is very important. And like I said, while I don't have any of my own as of yet, and at 62, that's probably not in the cards unless it's one of those people that is either in the younger category or has already got kids of their own. I'm just being realistic and all along those lines, even though stranger things have happened, we even know that biblically stranger things have happened and everything. But I know that with my own dad and everything, one of the things, and I think I told y'all this before on the show, that I admired him for is the way that he kind of encourages both me and my younger brother and me with my art and everything and my art management and stuff that I do in the arts and all along those lines. He sometimes jokes that he's known more as Mark's dad than having any identity, even though he's a famous artist in and of his own right and everything. And I know he also encourages my younger brother with what he does with at-risk youth and even some of what he does in his own health battles and in some of the things that he does in some of the clubs like that Polaris Slingshot Club. But long and short of I was getting to is that when my nephews were young, I think they were like 1 or 2, I remember him going out there and as a good grandfather, because the joke is that the grandfather will always get revenge for the first get revenge on the kid that drove him crazy. And I know that my brother was the one that probably drove him more crazy. So he used to say, everything that you did, I'm going to get back at you because I'm going to try and do worse and all along those lines. But on the serious side, he was showing them Mother Nature, and he was definitely them encouraged in whether that was sports or whether that was their love of nature or even some of the things that they do now at a very young age. So I don't have any kids of my own. I think of him as a strong father role model because he also has some people that he mentors even to this day. Some the folks, whether they're in the arts or other kinds of careers that he has mentored, some that have even passed much too soon and all along those lines. But he has always been a mentor figure both to me, my brother, and others as well. So to me, a strong father is one that can do that kind of education.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So some of that we're going to talk about in our notes that we have here today. But I want to do my intro into this too. But actually, before I do, go ahead, Gene.
I did want to say I want to send some prayers up for Mark's father.
Exactly what I was about to go into. Exactly where I was going. Okay, we on the same page there.
Yeah.
So before I do my intro into this, Mark, as Gene just said, let's just pray. One of the things I don't like is when people say, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna pray for you,"
Right.
and I know in my heart of hearts they're not praying for me. It's just a cliche word that sounds good, makes them feel good. They know that probably makes me feel good, but in reality, it doesn't because I know it's not genuine.
Right.
So I'd rather you just say nothing than to say that and then not pray. So, Lord, we just thank you for this day, a day we've never seen before, a day we will never see again. But in this day, in this hour, in this dispensation of time, Lord, we come before you and bow ourselves as humbly as we know how on behalf of Mark's father. Lord, you know what he's facing. You know his condition. You know his needs. for you are the God that prepared him and made him and created him, but you are also the God that is the great physician. So as much trust and faith that we put in the doctor and the surgeon and the nurses and the facilities and the technology, Lord, ultimately we put our faith and our trust in you. It lies with you. We know that you are there, that your hand will guide that surgeon, that you will protect his father, Mark's father, that you will meet him in his point of need in the midst of that surgery, that you will bring strength, encouragement, that you will bring peace that surpasses all understanding to the family that sits in the waiting room with anxiety and possibly fear. I just pray down that you would quench their fear, that you would bring peace that would overtake them and overwhelm them, that the joy of the Lord is their strength, because they know that their latter days are going to be greater for Mark's father and for his mother's husband and his other brother's father, all the family, Lord. Let the needs be met in this situation. Show yourself mighty, Lord. Show yourself strong. And we thank you in advance as we celebrate victory that will come out of this surgery on Tuesday. Be with him, lead and guide Mark in all truths. Lord, we love you, we honor you, we praise you, we shabak you, and we lift up your holy and your righteous name, for you alone are worthy to be praised. And this I ask in the mighty and matchless name of your precious Son, Jesus Christ, the Yeshua. Amen.
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 So, Mark, I just decree and declare all is well. Surgery will be fruitful, and what needs to be repaired will be repaired.
I appreciate that. Definitely greatly appreciate that. Ironically, one of his most famous pieces is actually what you just said and everything, because he did a piece that, like I said, Dad is a photographer and an artist, and he did a piece called Thoughts and Prayers, because that is what he prefers, is the more sincere prayers and not the kind of prayers that you said that a lot of people give, which is those prayers of platitude. So that's why he had done that piece, and it was like a protest piece because it would pop up in different places, and it was up for several years. And if you go to his website, you'll see that it is still a piece that is very well known, because that's one of the things that he got frustrated by, is people that not did what you did, because that was very sincere, and I can tell it was very sincere, but those that just kind of do it as a platitude.
Right.
Well, prayers for you. Yeah.
Right. I'm glad Mom just popped in. She was saying I'm just in time for prayers, so she's on time.
Hey, Mom.
But no, my intro, kind of reviewing my notes here, would be fatherhood holds, immense power and value. I mean, shaping not only individual lives, but also society as a whole. I think that is the power of fatherhood, that it goes way beyond just the individual. And when we say individual, we've got three men here, and if AL was here, we'd be talking about him as a father too, but and all the different men. So we can look at it from an individual standpoint. But when you do that, you got to realize the impact it has on society as a whole. Fatherhood at its core is profound in its responsibility, that encompasses emotional, social, and moral dimensions. Look at the overlap in that. So that's what we really want to spend some time today, and possibly even next week, just really diving into what is true fatherhood. We live in an age where I think men have been forgotten. And this is let me get this disclaimer out there to our ladies. This is no attack whatsoever against women, but being an MOG, man of God, I'm all about a hierarchy that's set in motion by God. And that doesn't say that the man is greater or better. God just set a hierarchy that I follow. And it doesn't diminish or belittle the woman in any means or in any way. It's just the biblical order. So I'm all about women having their rights and their place in society, but that doesn't mean that we'd step on the man either. So
that makes a lot of sense. Hey, just on those same lines, because not to downplay with that powerful prayer, because it was a very powerful prayer and everything, but I sometimes wonder, and I don't know y'all's thoughts around this, but it is one thing when a person is of older age, because definitely Dad is in his late 80s, but I have a friend that has got multiple kids. He's got 2 daughters and a son, if I'm remembering correctly, and everything. But one of his nephews, because sometimes father figures are also those that are your uncles. Because, like I said, even though I don't see them nearly enough, I consider myself to be somewhat of a guide to my own nephews and everything. But my buddy Zach was telling me that he was actually on his way to visit his nephew that's up in Virginia who is fighting cancer. So sometimes I wonder about those that are unfortunate enough to have some things that are threatening their lives at what seems to be a young age. And I know that you are a religious man, and I know that one of those famous things that folks in the religious circles get frustrated by, because a lot of times people will ask, why me, why now, kind of questions, and all along those lines. So I just wanted y'all's thoughts around that, because he's not the only one. I've got a couple of other friends that have got young people in their lives that are also facing some turbulent times. I mean, they might be not as immediate as, say, an immediate surgery, but they are fighting uphill battles and everything. I just wanted your take on that, because sometimes it is the people that are in your life that you have to pray for as well. I think he said his nephew's name is Patrick Mills, if I remember correctly, and everything. But I just wanted your take on those folks that are fighting a battle that seems like it's too early in life.
Well, I mean, I that one's hard for me to even. You guys know my story. I mean, I got 3 beautiful sons that were murdered here in Kansas City in gun violence. One, the last which died in my arms. And I ask that question probably every day, Mark. Why did they have to go, Lord? And then even to another level, why not me?
Right.
Why were they spared? Why was I spared and not them? You know, I'm 53. You know, I've lived a life. You know, they were just starting life, and it took me the longest to try to understand that. But I also realized there's just some things on this earth that we're not going to understand.
Right.
And if we say we're a believer, that's why I shy away from the Christianese words and say that I'm a Christian. I'm not saying I'm not a Christian, but my focus is saying that I'm a believer. I'm a believer in Christ.
Right.
Christ. So as a believer, I trust him. Doesn't mean I'm not going to always understand every decision that's made or even agree with every decision that's made. But the foundational truth for me is that I trust him. And I know that he knows the end from the beginning. He's been to the end of that person's life.
Right.
You know, he knows what things could have looked like had they continued to live. And then that being said, all of us have a day marked on God's calendar. We forget that.
Right.
All of us have a day marked on God's calendar, and it doesn't say what the age is. It's a date and a time, and at that date and time is our hour. And if we're 10, if we're 25, if we're 50, if we're 100, that's your day.
Because isn't one of the famous quotes, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Gene, but I know a lot of people, when I hear them talk about that, they talk about that, and it doesn't matter that their faith walk, whether they're Christian or Muslim or Jewish or whatever their other faith walks may be, even some of the Eastern Europeans. But I know that a lot of times it's that notion of, your birth date. None of us actually know. I mean, God knows, but nobody else knows our end date. But it's what are you doing in that dash in between? Because like I said, that you were born on whatever your birthday is, and you know that there will be an end date. But it is how much are you doing that can make a difference in society in that dash in between.
Right. So it's funny as you bring that up, because one of my favorite things about yoga, it talks about that. Breathing is obviously very instrumental in yoga to deal with meditation, deal with anxiety, and just living. I mean, you got to breathe. So from your first breath to your last, is very important. And what you do in between those, like you said, the dash in between matters so much. But one of the principles that I love in Buddhism, it talks about the law of impermanence, that that everything changes. There's nothing stays the same. That's the only change is the only constant. And that again, you are born and you're going to die. That's a fact of the matter. So just filling up every day, every moment with consciousness and awareness and living the life that you would truly look back upon, and when you're on your deathbed and looking back with little to no regrets. I mean, we may have some, but you can cut down that list by just living every day like I know I'm gonna die. It may be tomorrow. I may not make the end of this day. If I'm living every day 150% at my highest version of myself, then once I pass away, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm gone, but I did what I wanted. I did what I lived my purpose. And going back to your point, man, it's unfortunate
Mhm.
that people die so early, especially from disease or murder or things that are unnecessary.
And like you
One,
just said, Gene,
the,
I'm sorry. Like you said, Gene, sometimes you don't know. It can just be a matter of minutes. Because I remember one time, and this was decades ago, literally getting bumped by a car and everything. And if it had been just a inch closer or anything, I might not be here on this particular day. And all along those lines, and I probably was not paying as much attention as I should have been, and all along those lines. And I know that there have been times that you know that you have maybe been closer than you would have liked to imagine. I think I told y'all that there was
right,
literally some young kids that was a toddler that was shot, and I can't remember if he passed or not, but I remember literally getting off the bus, and they're coming here to this cultural center where I'm at right now. And if I'd gotten off the bus maybe 2 minutes earlier, I could have been in that crossfire. And I also remember there was another time that there was a gas blast or some other kind of blast that was downtown,
right.
and I think I had just gotten off the bus like maybe 5 or 6 minutes before that happened and everything. So sometimes you are feeling very fortunate when you realize how close you were to being near those end dates. But like I said, like you both said, it just wasn't that particular time. But as you just said, there's
Right.
nothing to say that I might not step out today, and hopefully not, because I got a lot of things that I want to do and everything. But something tragic could happen and everything.
Right.
But you just think about how often you feel that you are closer than we would like to imagine. And like I said, to some people that might be like, that's minor. You were bumped by a car and everything, but
Mhm.
if the car could have been going, like I said, I think it was going to make a turn. So it was a very slow bump that it hit me and everything. But say it had been going a little bit faster, or say that I had gotten off that bus earlier, or had been in that blast earlier, those could have been moments of perishment and everything.
Right.
Right. So that actually kind of leads to what I was going to say. Is that everything, even when people pass away early, or tragic events, or even like with you on the bus, someone got shot while you got right after you got off. Like everything has a purpose, and that's what I have to remember. That's for me. That's the hardest thing, especially with the situation that I'm going through. Like just remembering that even this has a purpose. There's
Right.
a lesson in this, and just trying to stay on that type of focus is difficult. I have to be honest. Um, some days is easier than others, but yeah, it's like okay, this and I've grown a lot in these last 3+ years. Like I've grown a lot. It ain't been easy. It's still not.
Right. Right.
Right,
But you're
but
pushing.
yeah, right. And just knowing that it was like being like a piece of iron being put in that fire and then being pulled out and beat upon and then put in the water and then put back in the fire. Just you know, I'm being sharpened.
Mm-hmm.
So stepping back, I see that everything has a purpose. Even death
Right.
has a purpose. You know, um, we have a contract. We come in, we know we're gonna leave. We come in, we're gonna leave at a certain time. We may not even remember. I mean, most of us don't, and that's a good thing. If you know when you're gonna end, when that contract's gonna expire, then you probably be panicking or do nothing. But just knowing that everything has its purpose. When you step back and looking at things in hindsight helps a lot. But
Well,
it's
this
big.
particular part of discussion, Mark knows probably where I'm going, but this reminds me of our show, just this mother show this past Tuesday on Misfits Managed, where we were talking about the dashes. Back to that point, then I want to circle back to you, Gene, that I want to live a life, and I feel like fathers. This is the lifestyle. Since we're talking about fatherhood, this is the lifestyle that fathers should live.
Right.
Um, that the dashes, again, we know the start date, we don't know the end date. All we know is the
Right.
dash. But if we lived our life as if there were tomorrow, because
Mhm.
the Bible promises us so many things, but the thing it doesn't promise us is tomorrow.
Right.
Is tomorrow. But if we lived our life as if there was tomorrow, think about as a father, if I lived my life with my children as if there was no tomorrow, and I poured everything I could possibly
Right.
pour into them and gave them everything I could give them today, then they get to experience that again tomorrow. So,
Right.
like what I talked about in that show is when I get to that end mark, I want, as I stand before God in judgment, I want my dash to represent I've exhausted myself. That I
Right.
have absolutely, being a coach, I've left everything
On
available
the floor.
possible within me that the Lord has invested or poured into me. I have
Yeah.
poured it out,
Yeah.
and that I'm wrinkled and shriveled up and I'm ready to go home because there's nothing left to give.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, you invested all your talents.
Look at him
Yep.
going biblical. Look at him going biblical.
It's interesting y'all say that because I know that this is primarily Unbreakable Souls, a show about the gentleman, and all three of us are gentlemen, and all along those lines. But I remember a good friend of mine, and I think I've told y'all this before, but Michelle Gonzalez Green was in the arts field, and she actually knew that she was going to pass away. She was terminal and everything, but she also, as best I could tell, lived her life to the fullest, and she actually went beyond the time that she was given to live. Because I think that they told her that she had like 2 or 3 months to live, and I want to say that she lived maybe a year or two past what the doctors had told her and everything. And I got the
That's
impression
awesome.
from knowing her that she was living her life to what you just said, the fullest. She was going to do it. That She was going to live every day
Yeah.
as if it was the last day, and she was going to do her best on that day and everything. And that's just the impression that I got. Because, like I said, I think it was. I want to say it was during the pandemic. I want to say it was, as y'all know, because it's coming up not that far, but some of the different cultures, like Latin culture, have Night of the Living Dead and everything, where they honor the
Yeah,
ancestors.
there
And
was
that is
one.
literally when I found out that she had passed. And I want to say it was during the pandemic, so like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But you can imagine seeing literally her picture, because her picture was one of those being honored, and I did not even realize that she had passed until after the fact and all along those lines. But when I had last seen her, that's what she was doing. She was literally just kind of like still making sure that her children, because she does have children, were living their life and that they had something to remember her by and everything. But it did seem like, best I could tell, that she was living her life to the best that she could every day.
Right.
Right.
Well, and I think and just to jump into the points, to summarize what we've said, one of the greatest attributes of a father is emotional support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A father provides a unique form of emotional support. Their environment or their involvement helps foster a sense of security and confidence in our children.
Right.
A father's love and guidance can significantly influence a child's self-esteem and emotional resilience. Just think about
Right.
what we've talked about. If those young people or children don't have a father in their life, or if
Right.
it's their father that's passing, if they don't have a father figure that
Mm-hmm.
steps in their life to provide that emotional support. But then on the flip side, I'm so blessed and honored and thankful to think about those children who do have that emotional support in trauma situations from their father. That's powerful.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, I mean, it often um, is a determining factor in um, how comfortable our children are in their emotions. If they have
Mhm.
a father there that supports them emotionally and not just, financially, then it helps them be stronger because again, the father sets the foundation, and then he mirrors it
Mhm.
to them by his example. So, a father being around in a consistent basis, it just helps form strong, um, independent, you know, uh, thoughtful, children who grow up to be that same thing as adults.
Yep. Hey, just really quickly along those same lines, what are y'all's thoughts around the father figures that are not necessarily as the two of you are the actual fathers? I'm thinking about the fact that I not, well, I'm in Hayti right now, but I live around the corner from Duke University and everything. And I know that a lot of those students take some of their professors, and I've got friends also at our HBCU, North Carolina Central University, that are professors, and they take those professors to kind of be the father figure while they are away from their own fathers, because they are sometimes being many miles away, because I know that Duke has students that are literally from other countries as well as other parts of the world, and other parts of the nation and everything in that space. So I do know that sometimes if you are in that, because right now, school is getting ready to start, and particularly colleges around the country, a lot of folks will be dealing with those father-like figures that are there, whether it's a professor or it might even be, I'll just say this in my mindset, it might even be the janitor, because it's not always the person that you expect to be the father figure. It might be a janitor or a cafeteria worker or somebody else that they bond with, that they have gotten to know that is an older figure. So I just wondering your take on that, particularly you, Coach E, because I know that you've seen some janitors in your coaching environments and others that have definitely taken on that father figure role, even for probably some of your own students.
Well, yeah, to your point, Mark, I don't believe that it has to be bloodline related whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, it's a person. I salute the person that sees a need from a father's perspective and steps into that space. You're probably, Mark, I'm guessing, a father figure for your two nephews. You're not father, and you literally are their uncle. But I would guess that at points in life you've been a father. To me, I mean, as much as I value being a father to my own kids, I'm their father. They're kind of stuck with me. So it just is what it is. That's an expectation. But when you get to father people who aren't of your own bloodline or your own family, man, what an extension of the gift of fatherhood. And I just see that as God leaving all people. I'm trying to come up with the right word.
So you kind of step into that role and everything. But even to your point, because I know that in the African culture, and I know you are aware of this, I don't know how much you are, Coach G, and everything, but I know Gene is, there is this notion of the Baba. And I know that oftentimes people will come here and everything, and they will address me as Baba Mark or Baba Lee or something like that, because they have known me in some cases since they were children, because in some cases I've known their mothers and their fathers and everything, and they have known me, and I have even seen them grow up to have kids of their own and all along those lines. But they would definitely address me as that. So it is definitely a point of honor when they come to me, and it's something that Baba Chuck taught me about, when I would address him that and people would address him that way. So I don't mind it, and I see it as a point of honor when they come up to me, because they have definitely seen that I have encouraged them, whatever they're doing, whether it was in dance or whether it was in drumming or whether it was in other forms of the arts or just in life in general and everything. I imagine that matter of fact, next Friday, the day before our next show and everything, one of my dance friends will be celebrating her 70th birthday. And I know that some of those people that I will see will literally be calling me Baba Mark as they're helping honor her birthday and everything, or Baba Lee.
That's awesome.
One of my spiritual daughters, we were estranged for a little while, and I didn't understand why she was so angry at me or hurt. But in our reuniting and reconnecting, she explained all of that and how now she calls me Baba. And how she came from a place of brokenness, and realizing that a Baba is someone who enters in your life. And let's just say the way she explained this was as if she was a piece of glass. And I still, knowing that she was hurting or in need of my love and support, I wrapped my arms around her and squeezed her tight. But in doing that, the pain and suffering that was inflicted upon myself because of that, that glass was projecting itself into me, into my body, but a Baba doesn't let go. So when she kind of really broke that down to me, I'm like, wow. The fact, because I was like, why don't you call me daddy anymore? Because to me, that's a term of endearment. I want her to call me daddy or papa or something like that. But she's my only daughter that calls me Baba, and I cherish that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
I was gonna say, that goes right into our second point: role modeling.
Take it, brother.
So fathers serve as role models, demonstrating values such as integrity, responsibility, and perseverance. Children often imitate their fathers or their fathers, learning important life skills and social norms through observation. This modeling can impact their behavior and choices throughout their lives.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's
so
so
they
good.
watch everything. They watch everything that we do. Especially when we show that attention and give that time. Um, like it's just a lot of being a father is about investing time and emotional energy into them. You know, helping them see the beauty in themselves. So, and then they take that example and they do that to others. So it's like the community feeding the community in that type of scenario.
I love that, man. I love that we utilized s- some positive traits that are demonstrated by fathers because society wants to show all the inconsistencies and all these different things. But I love that you touched on value and integrity,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
responsibility, perseverance. I mean, those are attributes of a tremendous father that can make a powerful impact in the sphere of in the sphere of role modeling.
Mm-hmm.
Not only again to our point earlier to their own kids, but to other young people or to other people. Period.
Right.
Just being a man of integrity. Your
Right.
word is your bond. Modeling and
Yep.
being responsible.
Yep.
That if you say you're going to do it, you're going to do it, and
Yep.
if you see it needs to be done, you just do it.
Right.
And perseverance. That goes back to the Bible story that I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Just no matter what, that's our child.
Right.
And Gene, I know that one's hard because where the space we both have been in this last 3 years with our children, but one of the duties of a father is perseverance.
Right.
Right.
Even when we're being pushed away,
Mm-hmm.
even when it's our child who is declaring those hard, evil, dark words, painful words, as a father, as that role model, that's still an opportunity to teach
Mm-hmm.
Right.
perseverance. And the lesson there is perseverance is
Right.
no matter what, I'm going to keep pursuing you and
Mm-hmm.
pushing
Right.
through this. So,
Yep.
are you able to talk on that? I know that one's
Yes,
hard.
sir. Ah, man. Yeah, it is hard. Um, so as you can imagine, those who haven't been on the show, the commentary that Mark, sorry, that Gary just dropped, you know, kind of encapsulates the situation that I'm going through right now as it pertains to dealing with, my children. Uh, it's been difficult, extremely difficult. Just trying to consistently reach out and show love and a desire to be in their lives when I'm constantly being pushed away. But I know that I don't recall like my biological father fighting for me. And it made me feel, like I said, unwanted, unloved. So I made a lot of dumb choices based off of desire to be loved, to be shown that I was loved. So,
Acceptance.
for me, it's, yeah, right, exactly, acceptance. So, my goal is to, so I had to, go through a lot of trials in life and learn self acceptance. And that's a major thing. But it took a lot more. I feel like if I would have had good relations with my father, it would have been an easier process for me. Um, it took till, I guess, what, my late 20s, early 30s before I could accept me for who I am. Um, so, just my perseverance, me sticking to, showing my children as much love as I can through whatever avenues or mediums that I can. You know, I know that they push me away right now, but I know they feel my love. You can't not feel the love
Right.
after a person constantly reaches out, even though you push them away. I don't know why I'm echoing. Am I echoing
I
for
know
you
you
all?
might be lost. I know where it came from.
You're all right. You're all right.
Okay. But yeah, just to me, just saying I love you and I'm thinking about you, is better than I ever got. and being consistent about it. I still give my daughter in particular her space, but I still reach out, you know, often enough where I'm in a comfortable space where I'm okay with being pushed away or ignored. Um, you know, just to let her know I'm still thinking about you. I still love you. I'm here for whatever you need me for. And until she comes around, I'm gonna be there, knocking at her door. Hey, can I come in?
Right.
Oh no, not today. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. Hey, how you doing? So, as a father, I feel like that's just important to show over time that I'm about to cuss, that you care. you know, and it's especially hard when they try to tell you that you don't care. When I'm doing everything that I can and beyond. You know, so many things. Man, we can go on forever with this one, but
Hey,
Well,
so many
brother,
receipts. Yeah, so many receipts that I can provide, and I'm at a point now where it's like I have to find a way to persevere and still show that love, but also honor who I am and know that I'm not a bad person that has to constantly prove myself.
right.
You know, I never abandoned you. I abandoned a relationship that was not healthy for any of us. Um,
mhm.
so, just sticking around and letting them know I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I know you don't want me around right now, and I accept that. I honor that, although it hurts me deeply. But I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here whenever you come around, man. So, yeah, no.
Well, man, I gotta publicly salute you and honor you, my brother, because let's reflect on this for a second. So many you use your example, and so many other me and other men can relate to that because there's so many things that we didn't get from our fathers,
Mhm.
Right,
and we could have easily chosen to be just like our fathers,
Mhm.
right,
and we made a conscious choice to be different.
right,
That in itself should be celebrated. The power behind that, and going against the stream or against the norm of what we
right,
knew, should be celebrated. But then to take that to a step further, you've walked out being that man of integrity, where things were said against you and evidence presented against you that wasn't valid or true. You still towed the line, and you chose to be a man of integrity. You could have taken a low road or dirty road, but you chose to be a man of integrity,
Mhm.
which is a role model and a lesson for your daughter. You
Mhm.
yeah,
chose to continue to be responsible in your action and your deed.
right,
You could have tucked tail and ran like a lot of fathers would have done.
yeah,
Easy choice, but you didn't
right,
take the easy road.
right,
You took the hard road, and you persevered. So
yeah,
another two sets of lessons, that is it Gianna?
yeah,
So another set of lessons that you've laid out for your beloved Gianna. And
Mhm.
I know she's in a space right now where she's confused and just dark, not seeing the light. But
right,
I assure you, my brother, I assure you, as I'm sitting in this space on this show right now, your day and your hour will come, and the light will
right,
shine over her, and you will see the scales that are on her eyes today and blocking her ears and blocking her
Mhm.
heart will be removed, and
right.
she will see the work that her fathers put forth.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And do me a favor. So to capstone that, tell your story about you with your boys, if you don't mind.
No, 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 not at all. I mean, this is fatherhood. So, because of my divorce and all that came with that, my boys um, discontinued life with me.
Mhm.
I mean, literally as if I was dead, and wrote me off. No discussion, no meeting, just gone. And that in itself was so hard to process. And I couldn't move for the longest. I couldn't move forward. I couldn't do anything. I had relationships, I had business opportunities, all these things that would come to me, but none of that I could move forward in until that relationship was right with my sons. But to your point that you said earlier, at some point I had to take care of myself.
Mhm.
I had to get up and live for me. I deserve to live for me. So I had to table that for a minute and heal and grow and expand my world to a place that now I can circle back to that and still be that father, be present, whether they want it or not. I do what you do. I call, I text, I try to create space where I can see them or visit the grandkids. And my story is a little why I'm saying the things to you because I'm believing the same. God is not a respecter of perfect people. So what he's done for me, he's gonna do for you, brother. So like my eldest son, we are reconciled. We have had 4 or 5 really strong, powerful meetings, and now I'm able to come to his home and visit with him and his wife and my 2 granddaughters. He invited me into the space where now my grandson, I think it's 4 weeks today,
Mhm.
4 weeks, 5 weeks, where I have a new grandson that entered into this world, and my son that I was estranged with wants me to be a part of his life. Oh
Right.
my God, man, I cannot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Coach
Yeah.
G and Gene, along those same
Yeah.
lines, because I know just in my own life, having friends and family that have been through what y'all have been through and everything. But what words of encouragement can you give? Because I know that sometimes people are wanting it to happen tomorrow, but like you just said, Coach G, it's now happened that your son is having his own family. And like I've told y'all before, I know that one of my cousins is estranged from his daughter, who is now in her, I want to say, early mid 20s or something like that. But they've been estranged for of some several years and all along those lines. And it might be that he's going to be 10, 15 years before she even comes back around. I mean, I hope not, but I'm just being realistic and all along those lines. And then I've got another friend that is had some issues with his daughter and everything. But to what y'all have just said is he tries to leave the door open, hoping that they will sometimes come through that door, even though it might not be tomorrow, it might not even be next week, it might be a year or two, but he tries to leave those doors open for those kind of like restoring of relationships to take place. But I just wonder what words of encouragement would you give for folks that are going through that? And I just gave 2 examples, one from my friend circle and one from my family circle. But what words of encouragement would you give to folks that are going through what y'all have gone through and it's been going on for a number of years?
You mean to go? Okay.
Coach G, please speak to that because you're on the other side.
Right, right.
I'm still
Well,
in the thick of it. I'm still in the mud.
no, but you're not because you're moving. You're still in the space of perseverance. You're still in the space of perseverance, and because you're still in the space of perseverance, you're going to win.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to
Oh, I
reap
know
what
that.
you
I know I'm
sowed.
gonna win. Yeah,
You're going to reap what you sowed. So I would just say that you got to keep pushing.
Mhm.
Same
yeah.
thing I tell Gene. You got to keep pushing. You got to do what's right because it is right.
Mhm.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
there will come a time where, like in Gene's situation, his daughter won't be under the influence of anyone else but herself.
Mhm.
And she'll be able to make her own decisions. And
Right.
she will then be able to reflect back on dad's track record
Right.
where she
Right.
didn't think he was there and he was there the whole time.
Right.
That's powerful. So in
Mhm.
Gene, just the Holy Spirit dropped a thought. That's where I know in this space, and I've been there too, where we feel like as fathers that we have lost time.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about you
Man.
talking about 3 years, you've lost so much time with your daughter. But in what I just said, that's where the Lord steps in and redeems the time.
Yeah.
Because when she takes time to sit back and ponder all these things, rereading messages,
Mhm.
Right.
re-listen, in her mind, re-listening to conversations that you guys have had, even the ones against you, but
Right.
now seeing it from a different perspective.
Right.
That, as mom says, it's there all the time. Um, that will come back full circle, and that
Yeah.
time that was lost in those moments in her heart and in her mind will be redeemed,
Yeah.
and you're going to catch up. It's not going to take months or years. It could take one conversation
Mhm.
with
Right.
With my son, it took one conversation. I'm not saying we're back to, where we're boys again, but I honestly believe there's an understanding, there's a grace, there's a love, there's a respect, there's an honor this time that there wasn't there before, that will propel us to even a greater father sonship than we had before.
Right.
Which I believe is going to be you and Gianna.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes need? I'm sorry, Gene. Do you sometimes need outside forces to help make it happen? Because I know that sometimes, and you've kind of alluded to it with your situation. I know other people have been in similar situations. There can be folks that are trying to block the blessings, for lack of a better term, and everything. So sometimes you got to find ways to get past that blockage, because there can sometimes be people that will block that relationship that you want to establish, and all along those lines. So maybe you need people that are serving as like middle people, for lack of a better term. And I was trying to think of a word, but it's not coming to me. But they're kind of like helping you get through that blockage that sometimes the other person puts out there.
You mean like a mediator?
A mediator or an intercessor, I think is the word I was looking for.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm at a point where I'm legally, having to deal with mediators and things of that nature. So, I mean, if it for those types of relationships, it depends upon if you're being estranged or whatever.
Right.
If they're young enough and you're in their life and you're being pushed out, I would say for sure get a legal intercessor, mediator, and keep record of everything. Document. That's been the things that saved my hide. Like I keep record of everything, every email, every text message, everything. I got records of everything. I even record conversations. I don't play. Because I mean, they at this point when you have to deal with a legal party coming in between, you got to prove things, and the more records that you have to prove your point, you're better off, man. Yeah, definitely having a mediator if you.
Well, I think that's what I talked about before. I feel like for you, it's those details for you, that consistency. That shows your integrity, that shows that you're being responsible. Those are the things, and obviously perseverance, that are going to redeem the time for you. That's what I was saying. Those are things that you'll be able to present to your daughter. Honey, I have been here. I have loved you this whole time. And this is now here. Here's the evidence.
Right.
Here's the evidence. I don't take my word for it, baby. Here's the evidence.
Right.
How daddy has pursued you. And then you get to walk away. And I'm not talking about walk away from her life.
Right.
That negative stigma that has been placed on you. You get to just lay that lap of evidence right there in her face, and not in her face, but able and be able to walk away with your head held high because you knew you did the right thing, because it was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
That part right there.
That's fatherhood.
Yeah. Right.
That is fatherhood. You walked out fatherhood at its worst.
Right.
When so many others walked away from fatherhood and was like, let somebody else do that.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Y'all gonna have another great show, and it was another great show and an in-depth conversation and all along those lines. I just looked at the clock and we're already in an hour and everything. So I want to leave y'all on it.
Point two.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. Let's do a part two.
Yeah, definitely a part two.
I think we only got to point two.
Right, exactly.
Too much more meat in this, so we're definitely gonna have part.
Yeah, definitely have to do a point two. I do have to leave y'all on a lighter note since we had all that deep conversation, including the prayer, which I definitely greatly appreciated and everything along those lines. But Gene, since I was teasing Coach earlier about that whole Kansas City difference and everything, can you have somebody in your life that is not a jazz or R&B or some of the other musics that you like and all along those lines? Or is that not going to happen? They've got to love the same things that you love in the music realm the way that he loves the Kansas City Chiefs.
so thankfully, with my lady, she's a musician as well. So we lock in there. She's also a writer and actress as well. So now I
That's
don't
called
think I
alignment.
could. Yeah, right. Exactly. Alignment. There we go. Equally yoked.
Right.
But could I be in a relationship with a person who was not creative? I feel like we're all creatives, in one way or the other. Even if it's a person who's creative in business, you can be an artist. So, um, I would say that as long as we have an understanding that we are artists in our own way and honor and support the other, I feel like it would be could be a good thing as long as again we keep that up. So, but yeah, I'm blessed to have someone who does what I do. When I'm on stage, she's on stage. When I'm in the studio, she's in the studio. So we on the same, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. And everything. Well, we can go out with one of your videos, the one that was the last one, which is the 7-minute one and everything. Go for it.
So, check it. G Was a Soul System just dropped 2 more singles. The first one was Bad Guy. Just talking specifically about, I'm be honest, about the situation with my daughter and the estrangement or whatever. So you have to just pick it apart. And the other song is a protest song called Ja People. Ja People, no justice, no peace. So we got one more single to drop. One more single to drop. It's coming soon. But yeah, thank you for playing it. What's up, bro?
When are you coming to Kansas City?
Still working on it, man.
Okay, I don't know if you got the dates yet, because AL and I want to block that out. We'll promote that here big time for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, we still haven't found the right KC venue yet. So if we get your help, that helps. Because a lot of them want just KC people, which is fine. I understand, and I honor that. Put out the locals. I agree, but get you some Memphis energy and vibe up in your place too.
Well, I got one more connect I can reach out to today for you. I haven't talked to her in 2 years, but I see her on social media. I see her stuff blowing up. So
we still got to get you. We still got to get you in North Carolina too, whether that's Durham or Winston or Greensboro or some of the other various cities, including Charlotte and everything. So
Asheville,
Asheville,
Charlotte. Let's go, all of it. Let's go.
You got
all over the
world. Got to plug you in, and hopefully we're gonna get those other 2 videos so that we can play them like we're getting ready to play this song as well. So hopefully we'll drop them on another episode of Unbreakable Souls. And I think that shortly I got to find out if y'all are going to start on tomorrow or next week. But I know that Where's the Love is getting ready to come back as well. So hopefully we'll have y'all drop them on some of those shows as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Where's the Love starts tomorrow.
I'm ready to be a guest, Mama. I know you listening. I'm ready to be a guest again.
Yeah, let's go. Let's make sure we do it very soon.
Cool. I'm getting ready to start it right now, so let's get on out of here.
Yeah. Hey, love and appreciate you all for being here. We are Unbreakable Souls. And just, again, thank you for the energy. Thanks for showing up. And thank you for just being you.
Word.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. And here we go with Gene's group and their amazing song. I think we'll even see his lady in the background and all along those lines, because she's definitely included as well.
And you know it.
Peace.
In the creases, sold parts of my soul to appease your demons. What the hell to bring you peace? And my heart lay tossed to the ground, broken and neglected by you. Now you avoid me like the dark, and I'm done playing your fool. Almost died when you left me. So you deserve your hatred. As a villain, I've been painted. Spitting venom in the mist, weaving lies as you spin, manufactured reality.